Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Matt, I am the Americanadian Gamer, and today I'm going to teach you a little trick about how to always keep your accuracy top notch. Now this video may be Battlefield 4 focused, but this trick works in Call of Duty, Crysis, Quake, Team Fortress, and any other shooter that has either customizable weapons or customizable crosshairs. Now this is a little trick that I picked up from my old clan leader in Call of Duty 4, and it's worked for me ever since. I've used it in every game that I've played since that point, and it's really simple. All you have to do is change your sights or change your crosshair on a regular basis. That's it. It's really that simple. Now, I'm not exactly sure the reasoning behind this. I'm not exactly 100% sure why it works, but my theory is that it's very subconscious because when you play a game, any game for an extended period of time, you tend to make certain habits very natural reflexes for you in muscle memory. And you've seen this happen in games that you've played. When you start out, you really have to think a little bit more about what you're doing. Then over time, as you become accustomed to the game, things start to become natural habits for you because you develop instincts and muscle memories based around the game. Instead of thinking about what buttons you have to press and in what order to perform an action, you simply just perform the action out of a natural habit that you've developed from playing the game. The same thing happens with aiming. When you start playing a new shooter, you rely a lot more on the crosshair, and you have to think about your shots a lot more. You think about how you're aiming, how much you're pressing the thumbstick, you're adjusting your sensitivity, how much you're moving your mouse. There's a lot more thought that goes into each and every shot. But over time, you start shooting more out of reflex, and it becomes much more of a point-and-shoot method. But what happens is over time we tend to get lazy with our shooting, and it happens to everybody, especially if you play often, and most certainly if you use the same equipment over and over again. If your favorite weapon in a game is the AK-47 and you always put a red dot sight on it and that's all you use all the time, chances are you're going to get lazy with it, even just a little bit. You may not notice it, but it does happen to everybody, at least everybody that plays a consistent amount. Some people don't play enough for this to even happen because they don't develop the skills high enough to get to the point where this can begin happening to them. But for most people, this does happen, and most people don't even realize it, but it really does happen. So what you need to do is just change your sights on a regular basis. Let's use Battlefield 4 for an example. Let's say you're using the Coyote red dot sight. That's all you've been using for a while. Try switching to the holographic sight, another close-range sight. You'll see a little bit of an improvement in your consistency because while the situation is familiar for you, things are just a little bit different, and it makes you pay attention a little bit more to what you're doing. This is why I cycle through weapons so often. This is why I change my sights so often, my crosshairs, because it just helps me stay on top of my game. Now, in Call of Duty, this is even easier because while you only really have one sight option, you really have like a red dot sight, a hollow sight, and ACOG, they do give you different reticles that you can switch between. So just switch between the different reticles or switch to the iron sights and you'll get the same effect. In Team Fortress 2 or Quake Live, go into your options menu and just change the crosshair. That works very well. I just did it in Team Fortress 2, and my accuracy, I noticed an improvement because I hadn't done it for a while. And all of a sudden, I was landing all of my scatter shot hits, and I wasn't just missing them. So, I want you to try this. I want you to try this the next time you play a game. Make more of an effort to do it. When you go into whatever game you play, be it Battlefield, Call of Duty, or Team Fortress, go into the options and change things up a little bit. You might notice the difference. Unless you play like me where you're always switching things on a regular basis, then you're already keeping yourself on top of the game. But if you really use the same things over and over again, or you're in a game that has a static crosshair like Team Fortress 2, change the crosshair. I guarantee that you're going to see a difference. Well, I kind of got through that a lot quicker than I expected to, so let's talk about the match at hand. Let's talk a little bit about this gameplay that's going on. This is a domination match on Dawnbreaker, and I was playing with a carbine. Even though I'm playing it as an assault class, I was using a carbine because I'm trying to get that engineer assignment completed to where I can unlock, I think it's the UMP9, I think is the weapon that you unlock. I had to get 200 carbine kills, get so many carbine medals, and then get repair tool ribbons. Which it's really weird that they would make you get carbine kills as an engineer to unlock a PDW, but I'm not going to question it. That's just what they're going to do. Oh, and that Claymore right there irritated me. Okay, this match, no matter how hard I tried or how much work I did, my team just couldn't pull this together. I worked so hard trying to flank and trying to capture the A flag. I got back there a few times, But that Claymore really, that screwed me up, because I really thought I was being neat, sneaking back behind everything and then getting them with that Claymore. And then those guys right there didn't even notice I was there. I'm very, very proud of my performance in this match. I think I did very well. But, you know, sometimes you just get a team that doesn't do very well to help you out. And that just happens. I'm okay with all of that. But I've really come to love Domination as its own game type, because I love Battlefield 4's infantry combat. I think on an infantry level, it's much more superior to other more modern military shooters, namely like Call of Duty. I think the gunplay in Battlefield does need a little bit of work, but I think the overall infantry game plays very well, and I think Domination really exemplifies that and shows off that aspect of the game, because while I love combined arms warfare and I love being in the big conquest battles, there's just something to be said for the overall chaos and non-stop action that you just see inside these smaller matches. Now, like I said, I don't think the gunplay for Battlefield is just as good as other shooters. I think the overall combat is better, but the gunplay does need some work. I think that the way the spread works in the game is just a little bit unintuitive. I think it adds too much luck and makes things just a little bit too random to make it, I think, fully competitive. But if you haven't tried Domination in Battlefield 4 yet, then I suggest picking it up and trying it, because it is a whole lot of fun. I really like it a lot more than I like Rush. I mean, Rush used to be my favorite game type in Battlefield. I loved it ever since Bad Company 2. But the maps in Battlefield 4 just aren't really well designed for Rush. A lot of them, like Rogue Transmission and Operation Locker, really funnel everyone down these really strange and hard to traverse paths and just make everything so difficult. Then you have other maps like Paracel Storm, starts you out in the ocean, then you have to get on that ship, and that's just a mess right there. And there's one other, Hanine Resort, is that how you pronounce the name? Starts you out on the aircraft carrier and you have to make your way onto the shore, and that's just a lot of funneling. They don't give you enough tickets on the attacking team. Defending's way too easy, and I just think they really screwed the map design for Rush really poorly on this edition of the game. However, Domination is a lot of fun. The maps are much better for Domination because they can just take a small section of it and bam, you can just play really well. Like, this is a really good map for Domination. Dawnbreaker is really good. And there you can see that my team finally lost. I'm second place on my team. I don't know how I was second. That guy must have been really throwing out revives and ammo or whatever he was doing. But it would appear that I'm running out of time for this video, so I hope you found this informative, I hope you found it helpful, and I really do suggest changing up your crosshairs and your sights just a little bit. I guarantee you're going to see some kind of difference. I really guarantee it. So, as always, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching. My name is Matt, and I'll see you next time.